times when crosswalks are closed, yes.
Okay. Are you aware, though, Navarro Lopez will be able to tell you that if a person walks outside a crosswalk and is hit by a car, the driver is not responsible because they're outside the crosswalk. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and you have this slide up right now, you're not gonna leave that open at night, the one on the left. You're gonna put metal plates over that, correct?
This?
Yeah.
No, that is going to be on the sides, there is gonna be a fence, but it's going to look essentially the way it looks there. It's going to be fenced off, there's gonna be timber curb on the left and right sides, or excuse me, on the right side, which is the roadway. The left, yeah, both sides, there's gonna be timber curb,
So-
and then there'll be a fence on top of that
Okay, so
timber curb.
you're not gonna cover anything with metal
There's no
plates?
plates, there's no plates on, on that, there's gonna be open trench, and for sewer as well, there'll be
Okay,
open
because
trench.
I've been through some of these in certain other parts of the, Bronx. And my last question would be, are any new hydrants gonna be put in? Because I see that happening when new mains are put in.
Yes.
So, and to go to Councilman Jonai's question, that will take away more parking spots then.
Right, there, thank you. Yes, there are new, fire hydrants that are being installed, in those areas and those sections where new hydrants are installed, because I've had people come and ask me, because they just came out and discovered that a new hydrant is in front of their house. Now, what I will say is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, in those cases where a new hydrant has been installed, there are also those hydrants that are going to be abandoned and removed. So in some cases, yes, they will. In some cases, hydrants that are being installed, there are hydrants that are not far away that are now out of service and are going to be removed. So you can see those hydrants, they're actually out there with white discs on them. Those are hydrants that are at some point.
Projects have been completed and they haven't been removed.
I don't know why that would
We
be.
can't speak to other projects, Bob,
What?
but, yeah, we can't speak to what's happened in other projects. I mean, Thomas can't answer that, but for this project, I
Okay.
believe what Thomas is saying is, if we're adding hydrants, we'll be removing hydrants.
Right.
You know the ratio?
Oh, no.
I don't have it already, but we can
It's all in
find out.
design.
Sure.
Debbie Calick, and then Raphael Schweitzer again.
I was made aware that at Bronxwood Main Road by the bus stop, going towards Fordham Road, it's not currently because of, with the construction going on over there, it is absolutely not handicap accessible. If you're coming from the south side, you go south, Service Road, South Main Road, you walk through the, path in the grassy area, you get to that next traffic light, and then you're met with orange barriers. You cannot get over to that bus stop.
There is a temporary pathway right to the left of those barriers that are set up there at Bronxwood. And there's a similar setup like that at a number of different locations. But at Bronxwood, I've been there, there is a pathway.
It's not handicap accessible.
Now, is it that it's not open or it's not accessible and that there's a bump there or something that keeps wheelchairs or what have you going over?
So that's literally maybe about 200 feet from where we are right now. You can go check it out yourself.
It's at what location? Still up?
No, Bronxwood.
There is no way to actually get across properly without moving the barricade itself, stepping into several different trenches. When I came here, I had to walk across all the way halfway up the parkway. I didn't walk all the way down going to Road 5.
Right.
Walk across into the more construction and back on. If I were coming off the 12 bus, I would have no way to do that if I was someone with a wheelchair or a mobility device.
Okay.
We'll check it
I
out.
have to, yeah,
As
because
soon as we leave here.
the last time, 'cause I wasn't in the field today, because I, too clean to be in the field. No, I was in the field today, but, so I didn't see that. The last time I was there, it was accessible. Something obviously has changed. So we can leave here right after the meeting and go take a look at that, and if,
Yeah, I couldn't even get to this meeting properly and I have.
and we can certainly take a look at it and have the contractor address it. Okay?
How about we do that with all those locations? Do it Bronxwood, Williamsbridge Road, Seymour Avenue, and Eastchester Road, because it's all a similar situation. Right over there, today at noon, there was about a gentleman 60 years old. He moved the barricade and he had to go into the ditch because he didn't see about 50 to 75 feet over the temporary bus stop, which he could have used to get onto the parkway, but there's no arrows, it's not visible. He didn't know what to do. So he moved the barricade, he went over. Anyway, so I have a question about between the service road, between Williamsbridge Road and White Plains Road. So you say there's going to be a new sidewalk. Yay, awesome, right, sarcasm. How many parking spots are going to be taken away? And more importantly, when this was done on the south side, the congestion that has resulted has been much worse because of the decreased width of the roadway. When there's truck deliveries, when there's UPS deliveries, you have traffic on the south side service road backing up all the way to Bronx Park East Boston Road. So do we have a diagram of what the exact?
The service road is not being narrowed
At all.
at all,
Can take it to the park.
correct?
Yeah.
Right, except for those spaces where
It's not taken
the,
to the park.
it's-
Yeah, we go to the right of way.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question about, because I'm familiar with the issue that occurred on the south side, and I'm very aware that there's a feeling that the south side was narrowed. This roadway is not being narrowed.
At all. Do we have diagrams of what's going on?
Not in this presentation, I could certainly get you, I should be able to get that for you.
Okay, I have one more question, sorry. So, Pelham Parkway houses the north side service road between Wallace Avenue and Bronxwood Avenue. Currently, there's a retaining wall. I saw yesterday a woman 50 years old, she was climbing over the black fence because to walk all the way, there's an entrance from a bunch of buildings, from Pelham Parkway houses, you know, if you're going across the parkway, you either gotta go all the way to Bronxwood or all the way to Wallace. With the much needed repair of this retaining wall, thank you, is there a possibility to put some sort of entranceway to Pelham Parkway houses from the service road? Either steps or a ramp, something, because it's a really a long walk.
It's not in the design of this project. It would certainly have to be something that would be for future consideration. And, I don't know, would that be a DOT question? To answer his question, as part of this project, there aren't any steps or walkway or anything like that that's being put in. This is basically being put back the way that it is. So there's no consideration being made for that on this project, but it could be a future consideration that perhaps, yes.
Thomas, maybe I'm incorrect here, but I
Thank
believe
you.
that the reason we kept it the same was to protect the trees.
Okay.
That if you were to change the grade or add more walkways, it could have to the trees. That's, I believe.
Okay.
So I believe that was the issue.
Okay. Yes.
People have been climbing over that fence even
For
before
years,
the
forever,
construction
right?
started.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with
We're not
reconstruction.
gonna climb over the wall because of the new fence
The
that
fencing
will be
might stop.
installed.
Just a final note, I just wanna, you're awesome, and I know I'm tough on you, like, in public, but you've been awesome to deal with in terms of like being an actual human being, you know. It's great to have human beings in government, wow, that's awesome. But in terms of the look of the parkway, although there's been pedestrian safety issues and mayhem and ditches and potholes, the actual beauty and majesty of the parkway has been preserved, so thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Raphael.
Ken? Anyone else? Otherwise, Ken's it. And Gene? And that's hopefully it.
Actually, somebody brought up an issue about fire hydrants. I've noticed on the south side, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen on the north side, that you've had almost double fire hydrants within 15 feet, or 10 feet, or 11 feet of each other. It drives, number one, it drives everybody nuts saying, why is there a fire hydrant over here, and over here on the same sidewalk, there's another fire hydrant? Number two, you also have between the south side mall, you have one fire hydrant it's on the north side of the south bounds of the Pelham Parkway South Service Road, and then you have 10 feet away on the other side of that narrow mall, you have another fire hydrant. what do you need these for? And then you end up with the traffic, you can say, oh no, that's 10 feet away, even though the fire hydrant is pointing totally the other way. Oh no, that's 10 feet, that's 15 feet. What's,
Well, fire hydrants and the decisions with respect to where they're placed, the fire department makes those decisions. Now, as I mentioned previously, there are situations where we've just installed a new hydrant, and then there's an existing hydrant that is now dead that needs to be removed. So it may be that kind of situation that you're running into. But with respect to, again, with respect to fire hydrants and where they are placed, the fire department of the city of New York makes those decisions.
But you're giving your word that you're removing the dead ones?
Some of the.
you are the city of New York.
The fire department,
Some of the fire hydrants, they're not all to put out the fire. Some of them are to release air for the system. You have to be on both sides of
thank you,
butterfly valve.
okay,
So sometimes you have them very close,
right.
but they are functional.
So for those of you who didn't hear what the resident engineer is saying, he's saying that not every hydrant that you see in the street is for fighting fires, that they are there for a technical purpose to release air from the system when needed. So there's a possibility that the hydrants that you're talking about, where you see that configuration, that may be it as well.
But you're removing the dead ones?
No, right? Not as part of this project, no.
You said yes, you were gonna remove.
Yeah,
Some existing will be removed.
Dead ones.
You have the white rings on them.
Because,
They have a white ring.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, it's a
sorry.
long day.
I'm sorry about that. No, this is a piece of cake.
Can I
Oh,
please
yeah.
say something? I just want people to understand, when you bring up a topic or a matter, and you hear the response from Thomas or from EDC that says, no, this is not part of the contract, that doesn't mean that we're saying to you that what you're bringing up is dead in the water because we've answered, no, it's not part of this project. We're just being honest with you that we don't have any authority to address it to the extent that you're seeking, but you do have the recourse to go to your community board where the representatives from all these agencies, fire department, sanitation, buildings department, DOT, parks, libraries, etc., the traffic, police department, and they go there, and then the community board now represents you for those questions, those concerns, and they start the process of speaking to the agency representatives that are there. So please, we're not disregarding what you're saying, we take very seriously what you're saying. We're all New Yorkers, we all have the same concerns. We want safety, we want utility, we want good services. But we can't be lie to you and tell you, oh yeah, we're gonna consider it, when we know that we do not have that authority. Even though we're the city, each agency has unto itself the responsibility for certain things, and no other person without their permission can act.
Thank you.
Gina Francis?
Hi,